Welcome back. In this video, I'm going to show you how to add those lower thirds and titles and things like that to your project. So I've chosen to work with a segment here that has a lot of different stuff in it. So you can see down here, I can hardly see anything. If I click the minus button here, oop, way too much. But you can see there, I've zoomed out way too far, but look at all the stuff. Remember I talked about everything we're going to do with Final Cut Pro is going to be in layers. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit here, okay? And I can take my mouse and I can move around on my timeline, and you can see there's a lot of different stuff here. But at the very beginning, here's some of my students, and they're in this video. I need a lower thirds. I need to tell people who they are. So I can go over here to this section. This is where we found the cross dissolve, all the different transitions that you can use. I told you could add music and things. What I want to show you today is, see here where it says T. And remember, if you just kind of hold over, kind of scroll over each of these, it shows you what the different options are you have here. You've got your generators, which are, your colors. But I'm going to go straight here to titles. Now, with titles, I have all different kinds of things I can do. I can use a basic title, okay? And what's nice is, look, I just clicked on this box, this will show you what the title will look like. Here's a basic lower third if I want to click over this. You've got this funky one here, okay? There's the atmosphere right there, okay? And you can click around and see what that looks like. But I'm going to go down here. See on the side, it shows you your different ones here. I'm going to click on lower thirds. Okay, lower thirds are just great ways. They only show up in the lower thirds of the screen. So you can see all of these here are going to be down at the bottom. And I'm going to want one. I'm going to go down here. One of my favorite ones is close to the bottom because I don't want, you can see here there's some really cool ones here, but I don't want this one that's a torn edge that looks like there's paper at the bottom because that's not very professional. So I can find these ones like these little boxes that'll pop up there. See that? Up next, name, and you can change all of that. They do have upper thirds as well. There's this one here, but I don't want one that looks like a postage. Here's a cool purple one, but it looks a little, to me, it's not very professional. This is more for a fun video, right? Same with this yellow one. Those are for fun videos, and there's lots of different ones you can do. One of the ones I like that I think is pretty professional is all the way down near the bottom. And some of the ones you'll find too, like this red one. I like this red one, but it doesn't let you change to a color that I like. I like to use purple, of course, for Amador. So I like this tribute one. So it looks silver, but you can change this one to different colors. So what I do is I click on the box, and then I drag it over onto my timeline here, exactly where I want it to go. So now, in order to work on it, I just make sure I'm scrolling on it, and I make sure it's highlighted in yellow. Then I can come up here and I can go up to where it says title, and you'll see here I can actually have this in silver, I can have it in aqua, I can have it in purple, which is one of my favorites, and I can have it there. When I click on text, it will allow me to change the text, but here's what I need to do. There's two bits of text I can change here, the name and the description. So first, I have two anchors here, so I am going to want to click on the name, and then I come over here to this box over here. I delete name, and I'm going to write Sally Smith and James Logan. There we go. Then I can go down to the description. I click on that. Okay, come over here. And I can write whatever their description is, AVTV reporters. There we go. Now, this is kind of small, right? So remember, I can change it with the transitions. I can come over here to the transition box, Okay. And once again, now it's got my little blue dots. I can make this bigger, right? I can make this a lot bigger. Then I come up to the middle and I can decide where I want it. I can put it higher. I can put it lower. I want to make sure though, because this one is going to come in from the side. So it'll look really weird if it's too far over here because it comes in from nowhere. So if I do this, watch what happens. Oops, let's come over here. We'll see what's going to happen here.
We're here today to tell you about Amateur Valley today's newest call.
That's weird. That's very weird. So what I want to do instead is I want to pull it so it comes in from the side. There we go. And this tribute's going to come in. And depending on how long I want it to be, if I don't want it to come in for that long, I can go back to my blade. Remember, I hit B, and I can make it shorter. And now I just delete the end, and now it doesn't come in for as long. Now, one thing I also want to show you here is, do you see up at the top of the timeline how this is kind of orange? This means that this hasn't rendered yet, okay? It needs to render. And what that means is the system is still pulling it in. There's a lot of different items because I was working on this piece today that haven't rendered. So when it hasn't rendered, what happens is it gets choppy until it's done going.
Hey
so
Don,
it starts
we're
normal.
here today to tell you about Amateur Valley today's newest call,
in,
the Greens.
It was kind of jagged.
Hey Don, we're here today to tell you about Amateur Valley today's newest call, the Greens.
It won't be jagged as soon as this renders. And the system is rendering it right now. You can tell it's rendering because, see this right here? This basically shows me that only 22% is rendered. So I'm going to have to wait till for this to look really smooth. But as for the text, that's how your text works. Now, this lower third slides in and slides out. Some of them don't. Here's a piece of text right here I could put up at the top, and you can see it says read more. We wanted to put the web address because you never want to just announce a web address. You always want to write it out so people can see it. So this one here has been entered, and the same way. There's the text up here, right? This one we actually changed. So if we didn't like this text, we can highlight it. And then look, you have all these different fonts to choose from. I could turn it into this cool script, right? I prefer this one as Hobo Standard. But here we go. Choose Hobo Standard again. I can make the size bigger. Whoop, there it goes. Or I can make it smaller, right? And I just slide along here. You can align it if it's basic text, you know. You can left justify it, middle, right justify it. You can put it at the top of the section at the bottom. One of the things I did here is you can see the face, which is the actual color of the text is white. But it was hard to read because you can see over here it was white on white. So what I did was I went down and highlighted the outline box. See, now it's not outlined. I highlighted the outline box and you click show and I outlined it in black. You just double click on it and you have all these different options. You can outline it in different things as well, you know. But then what I did was I took the width of the outline and I can make it bigger so it's really outlined like that. Or I can make it less so the outline isn't quite as pronounced. I did it about medium because I wanted it to be outlined so that people could see it. And that's how you work with text. You know, you can drop, shadow, glow. You can play with all of these different ones. And over here in their title section, there's all different types of text you can add in. Don't forget, there's always the credits and things like that you can find over here on the side. And this is where you would add in a final credit as well. And you just drag it over just like the others. So that's it for now. And that's how you work with text. I'll be back in the next video. Bye-bye.